Now, with Victory Day and thoughts of the Second World War still very fresh in our minds, we've decided to visit a place which brings such memories into sharp focus. We're heading to a museum dedicated to the weapon that's thought of ultimately turned the war Russia's way against Germany. That's the T-34 tank. To tell us more, here is Primetime's Svetlana Karakina.
A unique combination of firepower, sturdiness and mobility. This vehicle has become legendary as the tank that won the Great Patriotic War for the Soviet Union. And the iconic T-34 can be explored just a stone's throw away from Moscow. Some 30 kilometers north of the city, there is a museum dedicated to the pride of Soviet military production. It was opened in 2001 to mark the 60th anniversary of the Battle of Moscow. The place on Dmitrovskaya Highway is highly symbolic. In December 1941, it's from here that the T-34 tanks launched an offensive to curb the German advance on the capital. The museum tells you everything about the history of the famous vehicle and its role in World War II, especially in Moscow's defense. The T-34 was designed in the late 1930s, first produced in Kharkov, Ukraine. The vehicle was the backbone of Soviet armored forces throughout the war and was widely exported afterwards. It remains the second most produced tank of all time, after its successor, the T-54 and 55 series. The tank was the brainchild of designer Mikhail Koshkin and his team. Although its armor and armament was surpassed by later tanks of the era, the T-34 has often been called the world's finest tank. If I'd known the Soviets had them, perhaps I wouldn't have started this war, Hitler apparently said. The vehicle was easy to produce and repair. It was also relatively simple for the crew to get to grips with. The T-34 was faster than German tanks, while its sloped armor provided good defense against shelling. But despite the tank's power on the battlefield, little consideration had been given to the comforts of the crew. 4 people had to fit inside: the commander, the driver, the loader and the gunner. After the Second World War, the vehicle became the most popular monument to Soviet military success. And quite surprisingly, having stood on pedestals for more than 60 years, many of the machines can still be easily started and driven off. Come over to discover the legend that changed the way tanks were made and helped shift the course of the deadliest war in human history. Svetlana Karakina, Primetime Russia, RT.